So there you go. So we are here at Lake Greeson, adventuring it up, and let's talk about the good and the bad, everything that we've discovered on this camper so far. So this is Swaha recreational area here on Lake Greeson, and these are cabins that can be rented. The damn grill. We are at Kirby Landing, Lake Greeson, here in Arkansas. Let's go check it out. Alright, we are gonna go do a little surfing, take a little boat ride. Alright guys, let's get out there. Well, we just made it back from Lake Greeson, and I wanted to go over kind of the good and the bad things that we've discovered so far on this camper. A little bit of a follow-up video and show you guys some things that we've learned so far. Alright, let's start off on the outside. Let's say you're driving down the road and you want to make a pit stop and you've got to run back to the camper and grab something real quickly. Now, you come back here and you open the door and you're going to conveniently try to jump into the camper and grab something, and your steps are now in the way. Not a major annoyance, but if you were on the side of the road or just trying to make a quick stop, you know, that's just one step that you have to take. Not a big deal, but so you've got to come in here and pull this clip and pull the steps down. Alright, the next thing is, let's say this ground here is not level. or something like that. Now you've got these adjustments here, but if it's not level, that adjustment could be a problem. Alright, so then you have to lower it, make the adjustments, and all that just takes up a little time. It's a little bit annoying. I mean, once the steps are down, they are heavy duty, and I do like that fact. But, so, the next thing I'm looking here is, okay, we've got the steps down. Alright, if they're not down far enough, the door hits right here, you can't even shut the door. Alright, so you got to watch that on this camper. So you've got to make these adjustments. Alright, so we're going to lower it a little, 1 notch. Alright, so we lowered that enough. Let's see if we can close the door now. That's even pushing our luck. Alright, I've actually scratched this up a little bit because of this. So let's go even 1 notch even lower just to make sure we've got plenty of clearance on that. Now I'm doing this, not trying to take up your time, but I want you guys to see how much time this actually takes me as well. Okay, so now we lowered it. Clears there, no problem. We can shut the door. Alright, but if you were just trying to make a pit stop along the side of the road, you're gonna have to deal with all this. I guess you could leave the door open, but if you wanted to make a pit stop and go use your restroom, something like that, that's a little bit annoying. But you know, it's not a no-sell for me, it's just something that is part of this camper you're going to have to deal with. And once it's all set up, the steps are really nice. Let's talk about this awning next. Forest River sent the dealer that we bought this from. We bought this from Livingston Camper and RV Sales in Hot Springs, Arkansas. And they sent them a new awning. Apparently the awning from the factory, a few of them had some damage on it, and so they're sending new awnings out to all these new 2019 models. You know, I guess that's a good thing. They're standing behind it and warranty and all that, but did have to replace that. So something to keep an eye on, and maybe check your awning as well when you buy it and make sure it's been replaced. Also here on the outside, looking at this spare tire. Alright, had someone ask about how it was mounted. Now it is just on some U-bolts here, and so you could slide this spare tire and move it wherever you wanted back here in case you wanted to do some sort of rack system or anything like that on the back. And so it does have the ability to move the spare tire around or even remove it. Alright, now looking at this ladder rack here on the outside, you can see this. It does have a weight limit of 300 pounds. Alright, and up on the roof, I'm not sure about the roof weight limit, but I wouldn't go too crazy on having a party on top of the roof. Alright, let's go ahead and step inside here and talk about a few things on the inside that I've done so far. Alright, here on the door to the bathroom, you know, it just swings open and it'll go right in to your bunk beds. Now what I did is I put some 3M little sticky padding here on there and the bottom, just so when you shut the door it's hitting that padding and not banging into the wood paneling. Also on these corners I went ahead and put some of the child safety, whatever those are called, the little clear pads, so you know your kids aren't hitting these sharp corners, because you know these bunks are pretty much, if you guys are looking at the bunkhouse, you probably have children just like we do. So I went ahead and put those little pads there to cover those sharp edges. Alright, we are in the bathroom now, and I had them check just for leaks, just to make sure this shower wasn't leaking. Alright, it looks like what they did is they just put a little silicone right here and on the back side as well, just to prevent a little water leaks getting in between the wood paneling and the walls. And they also did a pressure check on the water system, and when they did that pressure check, they actually cracked the shower head here. Alright, so that's actually cracked, and when we tried to take a shower, it's just leaking. Alright, terribly leaking, so we're gonna have to get them to replace that. Just an annoyance, you know. Some of this stuff is just plasticky and cheap on these campers, and you've got a year to nitpick through everything with your warranty and get all that replaced, and you could even upgrade the shower head if you wanted to. But something that's gonna have to be assessed again. Also in the shower, you're looking up here at the skylight. I'm not sure if you can see this or not. Let me see if we can get it focused. But you've got all these little screws going around, and there's a screw missing here. And so just gonna have to make sure you go around and check for missing screws and little bolts and, you know, that kind of stuff. So looking here at the wardrobe, the next thing I wanted to show you guys is these little see if we can get that to focus. There you go. These little door mounts, or I guess they're latches is what those would be called. Alright, these drawers down here didn't come with those. And so when we first got this camper and we were driving down the road, these drawers would just fly open. And we had to set our bags and pillows down here to prevent that. But check all your little door openings and cabinets. Make sure they've got these hinges and latches. And we've got the latches in there now, so it clicks and locks in. But something to look for when you guys are buying your camper. So I wanted to show you guys the sleeping arrangement. We have a 4-month-year-old, and we use this, it's called a DockATot. DockATot Deluxe. Alright, and we love this thing. It has been worth its weight in gold. They're a little pricey, but highly recommend for anyone. You can take that with you anywhere, and it kind of is a little mini crib for us. And obviously it fits perfectly right here next to the queen size bed in this seating area, and so we can have our little one right next to us at night. And then we have a 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old I guess, little girl, and the bunk beds are perfect for her. If most of you guys are looking at this bunkhouse setup, I assume your situation's similar to ours with kids, and that's why we chose the bunkhouse to begin with. Alright, the next thing I wanted to talk about is the little dining table setup. Alright, and we've been keeping the dining table set up in this storage compartment up here. And it just sleeves down in here to these little mounts. Just like so. Alright, and there's your little dining table setup. Now we do find this to be a little small. Some of you guys mentioned that in the comments. I mean, it's probably good for 2 people to eat. Maybe 3 if you were really cramming it in there. But for the most part, we eat all our meals outside, unless it's raining or bad weather. I mean, we're camping, we're trying to enjoy nature. And so, you know, if you had to come in, you could make do with this. Also, you know, it'd be very easy to make an even bigger table and just use the same fittings if you wanted to. Again, on this dining table, something else that bothers me a little bit, but I was hoping that there was a way that you could lower this table to where, I mean, I guess you could fabricate something that would work, but I was hoping you could lower this and then set the padding on top of that and it make this a larger sleeping area. Alright, you would think that they would have came up with that from the factory, and that this be an additional area for sleeping. I mean, yes, you can still sleep over here, you know, but it's kind of a single bed situation, and that would be a easy remedy to make a larger sleeping area. And so I may look into that, something like that down the road, to where I can fabricate this to where I can lower it and it be a platform to set additional padding. But anyway, not a no sell for me on this, but you know, something that I wish they'd have done. Alright, so let's look underneath this padding here, and I wanted to show you guys this. So we're just going under here, and yes, this is additional storage compartments under here. Tons of storage. Now, this is just some sort of plywood. You know, it's just cheap materials. That could be something that could be maybe upgraded, or you could paint these to protect them or waterproof them, something like that. But wanted to show you guys that. And if you were buying this camper, I would check this to make sure there's no damage under here with all this, you know, thin plywood and particle board that they're using. Okay, for you guys asking in the comments about a pack and play, I brought out, this is just our typical Graco pack and play, and let's try to set this thing up inside here in the camper and see how the room is. Okay, that is the pack and play fully assembled. Now that, if we keep the dining table here, it's not going to fit with the dining table. Now it does fit in this little hallway section here. Alright, but there's not a whole lot of room. You wouldn't be able to get by it. Now let's move this. I'm going to go ahead and move this dining table and see how it fits in this little spot, and see if there's actually some room to walk by it. Okay, I moved the dining table and I set up the pack and play right here in this dining table section, and there is a little bit of room here that you could squeeze by. Alright, I mean, I'm having to turn sideways to get through here, but it's definitely possible. We'll come around, look at it from this angle, and so give you guys a little size perspective on how much room is in this camper. So I pulled up the bed corner here, and so you guys could take a look at the kind of mattress that it comes with. It is kind of a residential style spring mattress. I don't know if it's spring or not. It might be just real thick foam. Alright, but it is thicker than your normal. Alright, it's been pretty comfortable so far. And so we're back on the bunks also, and you can look at these bunk mattresses, and they are pretty thin. Alright, now they make some covers for these RV style mattresses that give you a little extra padding. You know, a mattress cover with the padding, and you know, as your kids get older and weigh more, that might be something to look into. We are probably going to invest in a good mattress cover, and that maybe even has some additional padding, and try to make this thing even a little more comfortable. But it is pretty comfortable the way it comes. It is a queen size mattress. Okay, well, I hope that helped you guys. That wraps it up for another episode. Some little things, you know, nothing major on this camper. I mean, we were still really happy with this camper so far. We were really enjoying it. And I just wanted to show you guys, you know, kind of what some of the videos don't really show you on these things, and things that I've learned, and things that we have upgraded so far, and things that we've found out and discovered on this camper. I hope it's been helpful to you guys. Appreciate you guys watching. See you guys next time. 1, 2, 3, 4.